it's been really interesting to hear Mr. Bravitt go on so much about core values and principles. And it is very beguiling, and I really know that a lot of people do actually believe what he says. But he knows that I have to look at the actual practices and look in detail at what Nestle is doing. And that's why I would like you to help me now really try and find a way to bring an end to this interminable problem which is causing so much harm to children. I want to focus on just a few issues then. I'll be trying to be really short. In the exhibition hall at the AGM last year, Nestle's new strategy for promoting baby milk around the world was on show. This was a new Protect logo, which essentially claims that Nestle formulas protect babies who are fed on them. Now this may not seem like a big issue to you, but actually think about it for a minute. It is a really misleading thing to say to parents that this product is going to protect your baby from infection and death, when in fact, you know, it's not in dispute that babies fed on formula are far more likely to become sick than breastfed babies, and in conditions of poverty, they're more likely to die. These labels are turning up all over the world, even in the poorest countries of the world, like Malawi. So we really need to make sure that actually we want you to improve the quality of our products, but please don't make claims on them. Breast milk substitutes are nothing like breast milk, and they should never, ever contain claims on them. So I really would like you to do that. I simply can't understand how the board can defend this practice, because this is the sort of thing that fuels the boycott, which causes you so much harm. So I really cannot understand it. And as I say, Nestle is still the most boycotted company on the planet. Another critical issue is sponsorship. And you mentioned it, and I was very pleased that Mr. Bravitt mentioned the whole issue of actually making sure that creating CSR, you know, corporate social responsibility, means something. Well, in fact, what Nestle does is it's got an endless largesse and willingness to sponsor activities which actually target mothers. And this is used then as CSR, corporate social responsibility. So it's TV shows in Egypt, baby clubs in the Philippines, school education schemes in India, websites, medical seminars. A lot of this is not in compliance with the World Health Assembly resolutions. It's a conflict of interest, and it is actually a dangerous thing to do, even though it sounds like a good thing. To those who don't know and don't understand, it actually can sound a very good thing. So please, can you abide by the resolutions which say on infant and young child feeding you shouldn't be doing that. Then I'd like to know, I'll go straight then to the 4 questions which I have, which are all about full compliance. Will you stop making health and nutrition claims on all foods for infants and young children, and especially that Protect logo? Will you stop sponsorship and funding of infant and young child feeding materials and resources? I mean, in India, for example, it's against the law what you're doing there. Can you clarify the system of reporting and the role of the Ombudsman? You mentioned an Ombudsman some years back, but we've had no success with trying to find out how this is happening. So we need to know clearly who we report to, and when we report, we want to make sure that the right people see it. Often the responses indicate that you haven't seen it. Can you make sure the labels include all the correct warnings required by the WHO? And lastly, has the issue of obesity been discussed at board level? I know last year it hadn't, and yet there you are at the World in Europe saying that you really care about this issue of rising levels of obesity. Thank you very much, because I really would like the Assembly to help me stop this killing, because it's really intolerable and must not go on. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Patti Rundall. Étant donné que vous ne me croyez pas beaucoup, je passe la parole peut-être à notre administrateur délégué.
Oui, Peter, vous n'avez pas réussi pendant beaucoup d'années, moi, c'est le 3e. aussi à Richard Lobo qui est responsable de Nestlé Nutrition. Ça fait 30 ans, plus de 30 ans que cette affaire continue, qu'on essaye de nous connecter, de nous expliquer avec toutes les preuves qu'on peut vous donner. Ça fait aussi 30 ans que je travaille pour Nestlé. J'ai commencé dans les pays et j'ai vécu beaucoup d'années dans l'Amérique latine et j'ai vraiment vu et senti et vécu comment Nestlé, comme entreprise, a organisé pour s'assurer qu'on a un total respect pour le code et notre code interne qui est même dans beaucoup de pays plus fort que les codes locaux pour avoir cette discipline. Mais nous sommes toujours, et on est toujours fermement convaincus que l'allaitement constitue la meilleure façon nous sommes comme entreprise le plus grand distributeur au monde pour justement promouvoir l'allaitement direct. Ce compromis, je l'ai vécu et on le maintient. C'est une des priorités de notre entreprise puisque ça fait justement une de nos valeurs. Moi je parle beaucoup des valeurs et des principes. C'est un de nos principes. Nous sommes toujours une entreprise humaine. Nous sommes 280 000 collaborateurs, des êtres humains. Et pour ça aussi, on a mis tout un système de contrôle pour ce respect. Ce contrôle a trois dimensions. Il y a d'abord un contrôle interne avec nos contrôleurs, nos auditeurs internes qui ont comme obligation aussi de contrôler le respect envers le code. On a d'abord aussi un système d'ombudsman que tout le monde peut justement se connecter avec ce ombudsman pour justement rapporter s'il y a des dimensions qui diffèrent de notre discipline envers le code. Et en plus aussi, on a des contrôleurs extérieurs qui vont au moins, en moyenne, dans 20 pays par année pour justement voir dans tous les possibles détails si on est en ligne avec ce code de l'Organisation mondiale de la santé. C'est ça qu'on a, je l'ai vécu, je l'ai vu et je le maintiens. Et c'est un de nos principes de base, justement, et on vient de parler que nous sommes une entreprise qui est basée sur les principes et on y tient fort. Maintenant, sur les réponses spécifiques sur les questions, Richard, si toi tu veux.
Well, I have been with Nestle only 5 years, and I believe this discussion has been going on for several decades. And I must confess that the behavior that I have seen at Nestle leads me to be perplexed at the continual level of accusation over the many, many years. All of my experience in the brief 5 years has been that we behave ethically, we respect the code is in our long-term interest, and we do our absolute best, although there is never perfection in this area, we do our absolute best to adhere and be compliant with the code. We got several specific questions around the Protect logo. This has been used on products, including infant cereal, for up to 7 years. We use this in about 120 countries. To date, this is the first time that we have a concern about the Protect logo. The Protect logo has to be registered with local ministries of health, as do all our labels. And if the Ministry of Health does not allow it, because we cannot substantiate it scientifically, we will not use it. Now we use it because it is not to undermine breastfeeding, it is to highlight the advantages of our follow-on formulas in comparison to bad breast milk substitutes such as whole cow milk or Coca-Cola. You have also made some innuendos, but no specific allegations around our not being fully compliant, and will this audience kindly help? It is not possible for the audience to help unless you give us the specific compliance issues that you feel we may have violated. As you know, when you publish bending the rules and breaking the rules, we take every accusation seriously, we respond, our information is public. You had a third question around our ombudsman system and our compliance. We have, for 3 years now, engaged in external audits, Bureau Veritas. Every year, we select a number, 3 to 4 to 5 various countries, which are sensitive to the code issue. And we have these external auditors review our practices. the results are available and can be published. You have made a further comment around obesity. Here, I cannot respond specifically. I'm not quite sure what the discussion and the issue is, so I will stop my commentary here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. Josephine, y a-t-il un autre intervenant?
Oui,